in any moment, because you are awareness, just like you're aware right now, as I speak, but I don't need to speak, you will know what I am in your awareness, because I am you. I am awareness. You are the same. Here it's individuated. In the deep, we're beings. And so when I say you are the bridge, awareness is. So as I speak, you're being knowing, dependent really on how available for the truth you are. Yeah? You're being knowing and coming to discernment the difference between you being identified as a body-mind through likes and dislikes. You believe you're a someone, but you'll never find that someone. You go in deep dreamless sleep, you don't find that someone, but you do find, wow, I slept well. There's a knowledge there that you're a well of pure being. And so, in any moment, you can discern what you know on a surface level and what you're knowing deeper than the surface. Now, which are you going to give value to is dependent on what you're going to belong to. That passes away, that's the surface, or that does not pass away, because that is you. Although yourself might not be integrated enough for you to really get that in form, you do get that in knowing, but you just don't believe it is true. If you did, this you, if you did believe it was true, you'd come into pure knowledge. It wouldn't then be a belief, it would be a knowledge that you live by. And in that you would be a bridge, you would discern the false from the real. You'd be an immediate discernment, and you would respond to your deeper knowing, and that would open you to know yourself. This is your small self, the way you've constructed yourself. You've constructed this self. You, awareness, have constructed this self. But the real self is not a construction. It's what you are, pure and real and already whole. So you're the bridge the moment that you know, as awareness, that is deeper than what registers in your body-mind activity. So when you're knowing what's deeper than any familiar action, familiar knowing, and you respond to the unfamiliar, you're being you. And when you respond to what you're knowing that's deep and deeper, you are literally walking in the deep. And you're not on the surface. But you're walking in the deep, and the deep is having a body. You are now bridging the deep and the surface. You are oneness moving. The moment that you, at any moment, move only by what you're registering in your old sense of self, your familiar sense of self, you're not being oneness moving. You're not being what you are. And you separate from the beauty, wonder, mystery and goodness of what you truly are. You separate. But the separation is an illusion. But nonetheless, you're separating. But it's an illusion because you cannot separate from what you are. But your surface experience won't be deep. And so you'll remain suffering on the surface because you've cut off the knowing of the deep. The knowing of the deep always moves the surface. The moment you know deeper than your sense of self, your sense of self is in change, and others will demonstrate that to you, even though they don't know they're demonstrating it. The moment you touch one tiny thread of what's deeper than your familiarity, then the world, life, will demonstrate and bring along to you that knowledge in many different ways. So you're touching the deep, and the surface will change. And as the surface changes, more than likely someone or some experience will come towards you, and you'll grab the known, demonstrating that you do know what you're doing. If you didn't grab the known, and you stayed true to responding to what you deeply know is true, then the surface can, as it does right now, your body's changing right now, although you don't notice it, the surface will immediately form the new in your experience. But the more that you function and cherish your familiar sense of self, then your being has no opportunity to fully come up into your surface levels. And so there's no bridge. You are bridging the deeper realities of your realization by being true to what you're knowing at the level of heart. But that will change your sense of self. And then you've got, say, billions of people on the planet that in the world relate to each other only on the surface values only. So then when you change, you'll be knowing all the forces of the surface, right? And so the moment that you're true, then that will change the surface, because the surface levels are to give expression to the deep. So you end up like a tree. You can experience the deep coming up and forming the branches. You're the tree of life, which the fruit of the being, your being, grows on by you being true to what you're knowing here. You're the bridge, or you're not. The more you respond immediately to the knowing, what you know at the level of your heart, you are oneness moving. When you don't, yourself. It really works that way.